Hey everyone, this is going to go up on my Yacht on the Road channel. Last year I posted my other version of my bicycle trailer, bicycle camper. I've noticed there's been quite a few other people. Once again, shout out Dan Elkins, who I think has inspired countless people around the globe. But anyways, setup as far as the bike goes is still the same. 2016 Rocky Mountain Fusion, made in Vancouver, British Columbia, with a 500 watt hub on the front. There's a reason why I have it on the front, because I ride all winter and it actually I use it to commute, and once I get my studded tires on it, it works great. Saddlebags and so on. The gray bag here, this houses my battery packs. Now I only have one in there right now, but it's your typical electric bike battery pack, which is a 36 volt, which is conjunction, it works with my whole system. I do carry two batteries. We're going to leave that alone for now. Now we're going to get into the bicycle camper. This is made of Coroplast, which a lot of people, they build it with the big arc and so on, but all I saw was wind resistance. So I decided to make it lower to the ground. It sits about 8 inches off the ground. I believe, memory serves me correctly, it's about 23 inches at the peak of the arc there, which is nice and gradual, and that was done on purpose. It's reason being is, on top I've mounted my solar panels on top, which are 4 solar panels made by Noma in Canada. They're flexible solar panels. The panels themselves weigh 10 pounds. They're 2.5 pounds each. They're also they're 30 watts each, and they are 19.5 amps. Volts. Anyway, so that's where my energy comes through, and what that does is it supplements my batteries, and I'll get into that soon. But these two cords down here, the hitch, which isn't connected at the moment, anyways, these plug in together, which runs up to here, which runs in through here, which plugs in directly into my battery. Now, it depends on which battery I'm using. I usually will run the battery that is not charging at the moment, and when that starts getting down to about a quarter, I will switch battery, or switch it over, so it's charging that battery. Now, as long as I keep riding and the sun keeps shining, I never run out of power. It's fantastic. This is in summer months, peak season. So obviously I've done this up so it's very visible. There's the back there. It does normally have a flag on it, but it's been a long summer. I was on the road this year, and in 3 months I did about 3,600 kilometers around southern British Columbia. So I'm going to set up the camera now, and I'm going to show you how my camper sets up. And I am going to do this all in one shot because I'm too lazy to edit. I'm going to use my trailer for another reason this summer, actually, or this winter, fall, winter, and so I am going to change it a little bit. Sorry about that. Bear with me, I didn't think this was through very well. Okay, I think I got it. That'll give you a rough idea. It is disconnected from the bike at the moment. So when I get to my campsite, I disconnect it. I put down my little stabilizer legs. Unfortunately, over the course of the summer, I have well, yeah, it's pitfalls. And I took out the other leg, but this is the one leg that I put on, which I'm going to back it up a bit. Push the button, retracts, clicks into place. When you get to where you're going, of course they're both I'm going to go to this one. It's the highest setting. You get the general idea. The other one isn't working at the moment. So I go to set up camp, I lift the top, reach the side, got my aluminum poles. 4 of them, one for each corner. There's little rings on the inside, these slide down through. Go. Now, temporarily, that goes in place. And the other end. So now, of course, these go on the inside of the tarp. So essentially, it's a pop-up camper. There's little holes at the top there that the holes fit into, which I do by feel. There we go. There's Velcro. Along here, there's Velcro on the inside of the tarp. It seals off all the way around. So, rainstorm, whatever. I'm inside, I'm dry. It actually holds a fair amount of heat too. Notice this arc here gives me some space. In that space, I have netting underneath, and I keep all my clothes and my bedding, and everything, I'll show you this on the inside, is already there intact. So when I get to the campsite, wherever I am, it literally takes me the amount of time you just saw me, to set up. I crawl in, my bed's already made. Flap on the back. To show you guys what's going on here, and this is nice when I get to a nice spot too. I pull this up. And meanwhile, it's still charging. As long as I hook up to the bike, which I'm not. I've taken it down already, but I have mosquito netting that actually works exactly the same as this. It's all hanging down all the way around. So if I'm in a spot where there are mosquitoes, no-see-ums, bugs, that type of thing, I'm still fine inside there. I have a tablet with me, and my camera, and various other devices that need to be charged. And what I've done is I've taken a USB. It's a plug-in for what you use in a vehicle. So you plug it into your cigarette lighter to be able to run your USB. Well, all I did was add a capacitor to it, soldered it in, ran it through, and attached it to one of the panels. So it steals a little bit of the power. But my tablet, which as I'm traveling I can stop and download movies, various other things that I want to watch and so on. it's always charged. So when I get to where I'm going, I've got a little clamps it up on the underside, and when I'm laying in bed, I'm watching movies in my mosquito netting. I'm going to take out, well, this is my sleeping bag, of course. I carry a thermarest in it, which I'd never have to deflate because it just works. I'll put these over here. One other thing on the back to counteract the tilting motion, the cantilever, I have this little rig, which is essentially a bicycle. It's a kickstand, but I just took it apart, and each leg can be adjusted to different heights, depending on the ground where you're at. I just have a little hole I made where this clamps in, goes underneath, and it stabilizes. If that one leg that I mentioned to you that is broken at the moment was in there, it's working fine. This is completely stable. For the sake of showing you guys, I'm just going to prop it up temporarily. So once again, I'll grab the camera. So the power comes down from the solar panels, runs down through this cord, and goes to my Jenison GV Boost. That is the key. It says 42 volts. It's actually been taken down to 36 to work with my system. They're a little pricey, but they work and they convert that power. This is the magic that makes all this possible, really. So I keep that up there in a case so no other little metal pieces can get to it, to short it out, water, that kind of thing. Now, as for the construction, you can see what I did. This is just spruce lumber that I cut down to 1 inch by 1 inch and pieced it all together. That's the little support in the center, and that's looking out the back. You can see the little rings. They're just ring clamps that the little aluminum poles that hold the roof up are attached to. Now up under here is my netting, and you can also see the framework. Once again, actually some of it isn't even 1 inch by 1 inch, it's even less, so I was able to bend things. But that's all my netting that I keep my bedding, or all my clothes in. I try to keep it down to a minimum, of course, because of weight when you're cycling. But that gives you a general idea. A little bit of aerodynamics. Well, I don't know what else to say. Now, Coroplast is amazing, what you'll probably keep reading about. Now, the way I've got this built, it's drooped. It's very strong. I've been sleeping on this for 3.5 months. And, of course, lots of screws along the side, you can see. Flange screws, so they've got like built-in washers on them. But I put them fairly close together for that strength. But, well, I'll probably climb in the thing here, and I'll show you in a bit. But so there you go. There's the top of it. Again, the wheel.